Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Big Brother Canada 8.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there's a link in the description. You guys.
David.
We're watching Canadian television.
What are you doing?
You guys have been telling us forever.
Every year. You're like, when are y'all watching BB Canada?
Why aren't you watching it? It's the best Big Brother.
Okay, well, we finally listened to you.
We are here and we're doing it.
We're starting it now. This is our first week of episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it.
You know, it's just nice to be back in the Big Brother space, really. Like, this is a different...
You gotta take a breather for like a second, but it is nice to get back.
It's like, I've had my breather.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to wait till the summer. I'm like ready for it right now. So, I mean, this is fun. It's obviously the game is largely the same as Big Brother America, but like there are fun differences. I really like Arissa as the host.
Love.
She's wonderful.
Yes.
The set looks huge.
It does. It looks
and the audience,
big.
There's like stadium seating with the live audience. I'm like, wow, they really do it up on this show.
Yeah, the production value is great. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And specifically to this season, I love the superhero villain sort of theme.
Yeah.
That they've got going on, and the house decoration to go with it.
Yes, they are really going hard. Even with the language, like BB Canada Volume 8.
Yes.
Like everything is comic book themed.
I love all of that. I also felt like, this video we're going to cover Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday's episodes.
Yes.
We've got a little bit of spoilers at the end.
Yeah.
But that we're going to recap and walk through this first week of episodes.
Yeah.
But the entrance, like meeting the new house guests and sort of them entering the house, I loved. They were like civilized human beings.
They've just walked into the house. They didn't just run in screaming and throwing their bags on beds.
Acting like a fools.
Yeah.
No.
They just walked in and they're like, wow, this is really nice.
Yes, they still were excited.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they were like, I can't believe I'm in the Big Brother house, but it wasn't like mad people running around shrieking.
Yeah.
And they were all like dressed nice.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
men wearing suits.
Wearing suits, like really dressed to the nines.
Yes.
It was like a very nice entrance. And I thought it was nice that they did sort of like studio packages on getting to know people. Like, sometimes the American stuff feels like too set up to me, like the finding the key and blah, blah, blah. Like this was just very straightforward. Them kind of talking to camera, telling us who they are. Like it was nice to get to know everybody right off the bat. Because we didn't do like a proper cast reaction video for this season. So this was kind of my first interaction with these characters.
Throwing ourselves into this, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed all of that. I do want to know why Arissa says BB Canada when she is talking to Canadians.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, well, we don't say BB US.
America, yeah. But it is in the logo of the show, too. Like, maybe they have to call it Big Brother Canada or something. I don't know.
Part of the branding.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all can just call it Big Brother.
Just call it Big Brother. It's yours.
Yeah. Go with that. All right, we're in the house.
Yes.
We've got these house guests. They're talking. They're getting to know each other. And we kind of have a twist right away.
No HOH.
No HOH this week. We're not going to have the traditional setup.
Yeah.
But
Canada's
been voting.
This is brutal because it's just like you didn't make a good first impression with all
That's what
Canada.
it says. That's what it says. It says Canada doesn't like you.
They don't like you already without even knowing you, really. I mean, like, their intro videos have been online.
Yeah.
Canadians have been watching and voting for who they like, and it's the bottom four who are in danger.
Bottom four are in danger, and they just go ahead and they reveal that right away.
Yeah.
As Chris.
Yeah.
Min Lee.
Yeah.
Suzanne.
Mm-hmm. And Nico.
And I know that that's hard to take.
Yeah.
That first impressions, people don't love you as much as the other people. But I kind of love this as a twist. As a way to start the game. Because it forces people to just jump in.
Yeah.
Right? If you're just playing a traditional HOH, you've got people who are like, I'm never going to win that first HOH.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want that. I'm going to lay low. Like, you have a strategy going in.
Yeah.
This messes all that up.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun too to see them playing comps from a different angle. Like, obviously you're playing to win the HOH and have the power. Now we're seeing people play to earn their safety in the first week, which is fun. So there's 2 competitions where they can save themselves, and then it's like for the last 2 it's just social game, you know?
Right.
So the first one is a strength comp, And surprisingly, the women are killing it, and the guys do not have the right body positioning or whatever it is.
Yeah, the guys are like, yeah, we got this, we got this.
Yeah.
Especially Chris.
Uh-huh.
And they did not got this.
No, they did not.
They did not look, they struggled, the sweat is dripping off of them.
Yeah, right.
They're not looking good. But this was an amazing competition. There's like literally cars teetering, and they're like holding a production value.
Yeah.
So good.
So good. Yeah, it's like, the weight of the car is like proportional to your body weight kind of thing. But you could see the difference in the body positioning that they were talking about. The girls were like bent over almost 90 degrees, and the guys were just kind of like doing a lunge kind of a thing. So it maybe was like pulling back on their shoulder more, whereas the girls...
I think they really had to use all of their arm strength instead of their full body strength. And like, obviously that's gonna wear you out a little bit more.
Yeah.
So ultimately,
men
lay.
I was a little bit surprised that men won.
I would, I mean, I would have guessed a guy, but like, here we are.
Right.
So Minley's like, yeah, take that, I'm safe.
Yeah, so she's feeling good about that. And then, so do we go right into the second competition?
Well, we do. This is the end of the first episode.
Right.
So we're gonna go in now into Thursday's episode.
Yes. Oh, and this is where, I think at the top of the episode, the people who are safe are kind of like living it up.
Yeah.
And Nico is like stressed out.
Yes.
Obviously super nervous.
Yes.
We're seeing Chris kind of like do his meditation routine. We're already seeing that Chris is a weirdo. And he's doing meditation to get focused for this mental comp. We also see a little bit of like showmancy stuff. They're doing a lot of showman stuff.
Well, of course.
From the jump. Like, they're obviously the executive producers are trying to set up Michael and Madeline, but we almost see a little bit between Chris and Madeline.
Well, yeah, at first it was Chris and Maddie, but
like
I don't know.
Close sitting kind of thing, you know?
I don't know that Maddie was ever, like, soups into this. Seems like it was more from Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do get a little flirty segment of that. We get to see this, like, Jamar, Minley, like, what are you doing? Is this flirting?
Uh-huh, right.
Like mean flirting?
Mean. They're mean to each other.
Like first graders on a playground?
Yes.
Like what?
It's like they're trying to figure out like who's the alpha kind of thing, but they're like both attracted to each other.
But then we see, before we get into the challenge, Chris is meditating, Nico's freaking.
He's trying to like amp himself up, you know, get ready for this competition. And then we go into, it's not the backyard, but it's, I guess.
They call it their backyard.
Okay. It's not fully outdoors.
That's their backyard.
Though, right? Okay.
It's like their
competition
big
space.
Arena space is what it is. It looks like they're in like a soundstage / gymnasium.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So we've got these really cool action figures.
Yeah.
That the house guests are dressed up as.
I thought it was fun to incorporate the house guests into it. Like, that's another layer of what made this first week so fun. Like, normally all the house guests are in the competition competing. Right. But now you've got all these people who are just safe, and they can, like, be in these giant action figure boxes. Yeah. It's fun, you know?
And ultimately, it's a true-false question comp.
Right.
Reading, looking, survey, observing, and remembering.
Oh my God, I have to tell you, like, because I'm just kind of like out of practice with Big Brother, I was just like having fun listening to Angie talk, like not paying attention to the packaging, and then she's like, what ages did it say on the packaging? And I was like, oh my God, like I'm not in Big Brother mode that you have to like pay attention to everything, but these people clearly are.
Yeah, they knew.
And it was pretty close, but...
it was close, and it was like towards the end it was tied between Chris and Nico.
Yes.
And then Chris was able to pull out that last question, and Nico did not get it correct.
Yes.
So our brain transform person. What is his job? What is it?
If he makes it to the very end of the show, I still won't be able to tell you what his job is.
I don't think he knows what it is.
No.
I don't know, but he will get in your brain
and manipulate it or transform it or
we'll
crush
see about
it.
That, Chris.
I don't know.
About that.
So it's basically now we've got Suzanne and Nico sort of on the block by default because they haven't saved themselves, and so it's like social game time.
Sure.
And Nico was not built for the social game.
You know what? I don't know that Nico was built for this game.
Period.
Yeah. Now look, here we're going to talk about this going into what happens. But I do have to say, walking into this house and being told that you're one of Canada's least favorite people.
Yeah,
that's a blow you just didn't expect. You didn't prepare yourself for that.
Yeah.
You're preparing yourself for all the different layers of Big Brother.
Yes.
And that was just not one of them.
Yeah.
So I get that he's in a mental place that's just not good.
Right. So we do now start to see like more relationships starting to form. We see Kira kind of opening up to Brooke and I think Suzanne.
Love this little conversation about his confidence. He's asking which colored turban he should put on.
Right.
That he's the first player to represent this group. Like this is a lot of, like he's having fun with it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed just his like level of confidence.
And then we see, I think it's Carol, Suzanne, Sheldon, and Brooke?
Yeah,
and they sort of form this little like misfits group. They're claiming like, I mean, Carol kind of says like, none of us really fit in. And I'm like, I'm not so sure that Sheldon doesn't fit in.
I literally was like, in Sheldon, I could see behind his eyes. He was like, speak for yourself. Like,
right, but he was kind of like, I'm not opposed to an alliance. Like, let's do it. Yeah. So they're like a misfits crew. And then we see the pretty people form the Evictors Alliance.
Yes, I keep calling them the Pretty Four, but they're called the Evictors.
Yeah.
They do, since this footage, they have come up with quite the dance, quite the choreography. And they go up and they go down,
the
and it's a thing.
assemble and whatever. So this is Michael, Madeline, Rianne, and Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc, yes.
It's like a lot of young people, which, oh boy.
You know what? Maddie's 30.
Yeah, she's not young.
They just act young.
They act young. They act young. We'll get into that some more too.
Also, we see Min Lee trying to have everyone enter the room in a very specific, quiet way.
Oh my God.
Which is just not the way you behave in the first
day 2 or something.
Big Brother. Yeah. Like, choose your battles.
Yeah, so she and Kyle are already kind of getting into it because he's like, the world does not revolve around you. Like, this
Which might have been the first time Min Lee's ever heard that.
Might be.
Yeah.
She was like, wait, it doesn't?
Wait, I don't understand what you're saying. How dare you speak to me that way?
I think you're wrong. I think it does, though. Like, that's just science. Like, I don't make the rules.
I'm pretty sure that's the way I grew up. That it is.
So this is like the first of what is going to be many fights, I imagine, between these two, the longer they last in the game.
Yes, and other people in the house.
Oh, yeah. Min's gonna fight with a lot of people, I think.
So.
Yeah, that's why they cast her on the show.
Yes! Min Lee has a little conversation with Nico, and I think she feels like I could use Nico, and he doesn't seem like he's really putting forth the effort.
Yes.
So she does a little pitch for him.
She sort of sees him as like a puppet. She's like, I could manipulate you and get you to do whatever I want. So like, I kind of want to keep you around. Like, let's get Suzanne out. She's a bigger threat. Well, then she walks into Suzanne's bedroom and pitches to all of Suzanne's allies, like, hey, we got to get Suzanne out. So of course they tell Suzanne. And then she's like fiery Italian, like, what did she say? And they're like, girl, you got to take a breath. You gotta calm down. And
they make some good points of like, the fact that she came to us means she doesn't realize we're all tight.
Which
and
is
that's
good.
Great.
Yeah.
Because Sue was about to be like, they call her Sue. Sue was about to be like, I'm gonna go after her. And
I'm gonna confront her.
You're revealing that we're talking.
Yeah,
like,
don't do that.
Bring it down a notch.
We're here for you.
Playing a game. Let's chill.
Yeah. But Nico just can't handle it.
Yes.
Like, he just gets more and more down and depressed and like, I got my bags packed, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's me and...
Now he's saying that it's like everyone is probably just gonna keep Sue, that he's the one that they'll vote out. Which maybe is the vibe that he's getting, but he's not really having conversations with people about it. It doesn't seem like. It seems like the fight was just not there.
That's right. They at least the way they edited it and showed us the episode, he is just not campaigning for himself. He's just kind of like moping around. I think we see Jamar try to encourage him. We see Hira encouraging him, like, don't give up. You got to fight for this. Like, make the case. Like, talk to people, you know? But eventually...
And this is before the feed, so we honestly don't know all of the conversations that happen, but then we see the package of him walking into that room. I guess, do we still call this the DR? Is it still a diary room? Where he walks in and he says officially that he'd like to self-evict.
And I wonder if something was going on. Like, it just, because the executive producer, you know, came over the speakers in the house and called everyone in and explained what had happened. And even Arissa was saying on camera, like, we wanted Nico to do what was best for him and we support him in this decision.
I mean, I honestly was like, wow, Canada is so nice. they were like, oh, okay, you want to self-evict? And then Arissa says this lovely thing about, like, you never know what someone's going through, which is so true. Like, there's no need to attack someone. We just don't know what's really going on with somebody.
Right.
And yes, I know we all, as, like, Big Brother super fans, were like, you took a spot from somebody.
Sure.
We don't like people who self-evict, but we do have to remember, like, he's a human being.
Right. Well, and this is the first self-eviction ever
for Canada.
from Big Brother Canada. So I guess as a nation, they're not necessarily used to this, you know? So maybe for the first one, they do kind of have like a very understanding vibe. I don't know how things will go in the future, you know, but initially they were very, very nice about it, which is very Canadian.
Yes, and I want to just support that because, like, I just can't judge. We don't know him.
I know. As soon as Arissa said, like, you never know what's going on, I was like, oh, maybe something was triggered in him.
Right.
I don't know. Like, it seemed like maybe there was more to the story than just him not wanting to, like, put up the fight. I don't know.
Right.
But Nico's gone, which is, like, kind of a bummer, you know, as far as like seeing the game play out to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
But he's gone, and it is what it is.
The house guests are probably super relieved to just hear the executive producer be like, so Sue, you're safe.
Yeah, right.
Eviction canceled. And they're like, all right.
Phew, right.
There
we get a free day, and like, this is great.
So then we start to head into HOH.
Yes, it's like a trampoline basketball situation, and we only get to see the first part of it at the end of the episode, but it's essentially like whoever lands their ball in the basket with the highest score wins HOH.
This is another typical Big Brother competition where you gotta have like a little bit of skill, but your number is gonna vary.
Yeah.
So that brings us to Sunday's episode.
Yes.
Where we're gonna finish that HOH competition.
Right.
And find out that Chris wins it.
And everyone's like, ooh.
Yeah, majority of the house was not excited about this one.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, there was a lot of like pumping yourself up. Okay,
bro,
this is how you talk to Chris.
Dude.
This is the type of person Chris needs to, for him to like you. This is how you have to behave.
Yep.
Which is great. That's smart. You got to know your audience.
I gotta say, like, I definitely with the meditation stuff, I was like, okay, Chris is a little bit of an oddball, but I didn't really have a sense that people in the house weren't the biggest fans of his until he won HOH, and they were all kind of like, oh God, like now we have to kind of like cater to this guy who's just like the ultimate bro, and here we go.
He's a classic weirdo in that house.
Yeah.
They're talking about like, his eyes are like crazy eyes. They're like,
he does have crazy eyes.
They got his number for sure. Even Kyle, now I thought just from watching the feeds, because Kyle is really Chris's number one.
And Kyle's cuckoo himself. Like,
Kyle's also cuckoo, yes. I thought they were two peas in a pod, but even Kyle's like, oh man, I had to flex with him for like 5 minutes in the pantry.
Oh God.
I don't know. Deep down, I think Kyle loves it, but then also wants to complain about it.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? But Jamar's little segment where he was like, dude. Like, it's adorable that people are like, this is how you talk to Chris.
Right.
We see a conversation between Brooke, Vanessa, Kyle, and Sheldon.
Yes.
Sort of talking about their foursome and how they want to protect each other, working with each other.
So many alliances.
There are so many alliances, and I kind of love just what I can tell from live feeds. What's happening is like there's a lot of twos, then they'll add someone, have like a little 3.
And then a 4.
And then a 4, and then a 6. And like, so everyone understands like we're all working with each other. So it'll really be probably another week or so after this eviction that we really see who's actually working together.
Yes, people are just trying to like do whatever they need to do to be safe for these first couple of evictions.
Which is smart and great, and I'm glad that most of these people want a game, so fantastic.
Absolutely. Then we do see a little bit of Maddie and Michael.
Oh yes,
flirty.
Now this is the showman.
But
this is where we're going.
She can't look at him for too long.
Oh my gosh, if she stares too long, those eyes, she just is sweating. She's so hot.
Oh my God.
But her psychic did tell her she was gonna meet a man with his name that starts with an M, and she can trust him. So what I want to know is, did she say how long he was going to last in the house? Is what I want to know.
Yikes, yeah. How long were you going to know this man with the name that starts with M? Is it a matter of like 10 to 14 days? Is that all?
We see Chris in the hot tub with Min, Vanessa, and Sue, and they sort of point out the 4. This is really...
The evictors?
They're the evictors.
Okay.
The 4 pretty people.
Yeah.
Who think they're sly.
Right.
But it's very obvious
very
to the rest
obvious
of the house.
because they're just not great at knowing they're a 4 and friends and close and bonded, but then also, you know, socializing with everyone.
Right. When you only hang out with each other, it becomes obvious.
Right.
So that's what's good about the rest of the house is that they're making it less obvious who they're working with. But the 4 evictors...
Well, and that also leads to the evictors being like, we're the only ones in an alliance. Like, nobody else in the house is working together. Like, we got this. But it's like, no, you're just really bad at keeping your alliance a secret.
Yes.
Everyone else is pretty good at it.
Right. We get the HOH room reveal.
Yes, where Chris calls his dog his girlfriend.
I love, this is like the Fortress of Solitude.
It is.
The
like
style.
Ice. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, side note, we both work in the comic book industry.
Yes.
Like, we love it.
Yeah.
We're nerds
We're
like
very familiar with it. So
love
this is all looking very familiar around the house.
Yes.
So then we get this brief conversation between Maddie and Chris. And again, it's like Chris with the crazy eyes. It's like a lot of very intense eye contact between the two of them.
Maddie, Chris, and Maddie.
And she's kind of telling him, like, listen, like, I think that, you know, if you don't want to get blood on your hands, you should target Min Lee because, like, everybody kind of wants her gone. And he's saying things like, I think you need a man who can win things and, like, I can be that man for you. And it's all very uncomfortable. But Maddie's doing the work, you know, to make sure that she's not going up on the block and she's trying to get him to target Min because the guys in the house are kind of feeling nervous. Like, Chris is going to take shots at physical threats because he wants to be, like, the top dog in the house.
Chris and Kyle have a Wendy's bro date. Okay, so this is part of being new to Canada. Is there's a Wendy's window in the pantry.
Yeah.
And now I want this window to be something.
This is our Wendy's window.
I want this to be a Wendy's window. They have a veggie burger now, David.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. Sign me up. Okay.
Well, then Chris's mom is working at Wendy's in the pantry.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that, like, former house guests or something usually do the Wendy's window.
Right.
I don't know, but his mom?
And he didn't recognize her at first.
And then he was like, wait, Mom?
Yeah. She was like, hello.
Hi.
Do you not see me?
Hello.
And then he wasn't that excited to see her. Like, it was kind of a muted reaction. I don't know, maybe he hasn't been gone that long. So he's just like, oh, hey, Mom, I saw you like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
But he just gets his bags of food from his mom and then goes out and he's like, my mom was in the kitchen.
Yeah, Vanessa, like,
cries.
Straight cries. She's like, your mom, which is what I would have assumed Chris did in the pantry.
Yes.
Would be like, Mom.
Mom, oh my God.
How wonderful. But no, Vanessa
he's
cried
a weirdo,
instead of them.
Yes.
So, we get the have-not room reveal.
The swamp, yes.
It's very cool. I love it. I don't know. I'm so into this house. Is this just my, like, first time Canada, just excitement maybe?
It's just, I mean, there's no beds, right? In the swamp?
No.
You just lay on the moss?
It's a have-not room, David.
Yeah, but, like, usually there's beds that are just uncomfortable in the American version. This is just a floor with moss on it.
I'd rather the floor.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
And then those...
Then, like, beds with spikes
like,
coming out of them?
Yeah, those, like, chair bed, like the dentist chair beds, and, like, the odd, like, I want to call them ottomans, but they're not. The, like, round thing. Like, that my back would be so mad. So mad at me.
You do, yeah, your back is.
I got a bad back. Yeah. I'm not 20. All right. Oh, and also it does seem like have-nots actually count in BB Canada, so I will say that Mike, Maddie, Kyle, and Vanessa volunteered to be have-nots.
Yes.
Since it seems to be a real thing in Canada.
They actually do it in Canada.
They actually care.
They actually care, and they put it on the air.
Yeah.
Then we see there's been a lot of, like, flirting between Jamar and Min. Again, like, 5th graders just, like, poking at each other. But this was a little more, like...
little more obvious.
You gonna come in my bed?
I got a bed.
Am I gonna go in your bed?
Well, I got my own bed.
I got my own bed. Like,
well, then I'll come into your bed. Then what are you gonna do? It's like, oh my gosh, you two.
It's like TikTok before the two of you bone on the live feeds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then we see the other showmans.
The other showmans.
Michael and Maddie in the beds. Separate beds, but facing each other.
Yes.
And Michael opens up to her that he served in the military for 6.5 years. And she's like, thank you so much for telling me. Don't tell anyone else.
Yeah.
Because that will make you a huge target.
Now, this is interesting because I honestly feel like if Michael had come into the house being like, I was in the military, that's my background, I feel like he would have been respected.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he would be any more of a target than already being a strong man. You're just kind of a target.
Sure.
But I don't think that would have done anything for him. But now, if he starts telling everybody, then you look like a liar.
Well, he already did lie. He told everyone when they like got to know each other that he worked for some yoga company. Yeah. So like, you can't tell anybody else that you lied to their face when you first met them.
Right. So I hope that they can keep that a secret. I hope that that's just a bonding thing between him and Maddie. But oops, Chris walks in.
Chris walks in, and this is like the worst thing that could happen for Michael.
Literally Chris's nightmare.
Yeah, right.
And Maddie and Michael might hook up.
Yeah, so I think that just kind of solidified for Chris, like, I gotta get this guy out of here.
Pretty much.
He pulls Kyle aside and is like, bro, here's the plan.
Yes.
I gotta put up Brooke and Hira so that I can backdoor Michael, because in the real world, Maddie would be all over me. Okay. But something's going on with Michael. It was such a gross conversation.
It was so gross. Chris, like, I want to laugh at you and enjoy you, but comments like that, I just cannot roll my eyes enough.
Yes.
But hey, if that's your reasoning, here we are. He needs Maddie to himself, so Michael's got to go.
Yeah.
Now, I believe it was before this conversation, Chris and Maddie, because Maddie, I think, did sense, like, I need to talk to Chris. And this is when, didn't Chris say, like, but if, let's just say, theoretically, me and Michael are on the block. Who are you gonna say?
Right.
Like, he's basically spelling it out to her, and she fumbled at first and was like, ooh,
that's
I don't
a tough
know.
choice. And I'm like, Maddie, just say Chris.
Yeah. Eventually she was like, I guess you.
Yeah.
Because you're HOH.
Right.
But yeah, you.
Because you've been loyal to me since day one, and we have really good chemistry.
Okay, so this is his plan. Gots to get Michael out, but he wants to put Hira and Brooke up first. Now, he doesn't really have a huge connection to either one of them.
Right, they haven't really talked game.
So he thinks that that's fine.
Yeah, and Kyle, on the other hand, is really close with Brooke now and has like a final four, I think, with her. So he goes and tells Brooke, and she starts to cry, and then Chris walks in and sees the conversation. Chris is just in and out of every door, apparently, and just bombing every conversation.
Yeah, Brooke doesn't handle the news very well. No. And what I do love about Brooke is that she's like, ugh, I have to, like, be flirty and nice to this bro dude. Yes, which, girl, I feel you. That would be so hard to do. Yeah, but you gotta do it. You gotta suck it up.
She's like, this is my way forward. Like, I have to suck up to this guy who I can't stand.
Yeah.
Well, then there's a moment in the kitchen where Chris kind of negs her.
Oh my God, this is another moment I can't with Chris.
And he's like, you know, you're not that bad looking.
Oh, stop it. Stop it, Chris. Yeah. He said, you're kind of under the radar, but you're actually attractive or pretty or something.
You're actually pretty. Like,
so what he's saying is, like, you're not flaunting your beauty like the other girls.
Right.
But you could be, because you're kind of attractive.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you seem ugly, but you're actually pretty.
This is when I would have punched him in the face had I been Brooke. Like, the fact that she could force a giggle to come out and be like, hey, thanks, hey. I was like, girl.
Ugh.
You deserve a little bit of money for that.
And then he starts to kind of like open up to her a little bit. He's like, listen, I want to like fill you in on the plan. You know, like, I really won't need to get Michael out of here. And she's like, but you need to put me on the block. Like, she kind of like comes at him, like finishing his sentence. And then he kind of like shrinks away. And he's like, well, I don't know. I mean, you know, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
what's that plan you just came up with? You said you had a plan.
Yeah, he like literally says like, I think I know what the plan is. And then he's like, well, I don't know. Like, I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
Which I kind of thought was like, I liked seeing that from Brooke, because I think that's what you need in Big Brother sometimes, because she got the information she needed. You know, she had already heard that that was the plan, but she came right at Chris, and then his like fumble kind of gave her confirmation that that was his plan.
Right, but it's just like, because she can't, I mean, she did do a good giggle, but she can't just fully be like, you're so great, you're so smart, you're so great. It's gonna be a struggle for her.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get to nominations, we do see a final little threesome.
Yeah.
Chris and Kyle bring in their buddy Sheldon.
Sheldon, who is quickly becoming very well positioned in the house.
Quickly.
Yeah.
He is in a great spot. He is
Everyone
so
thinks
smart.
Sheldon's in with them.
Yes, and he pretty much is in with everybody. Not for reals, but like he's worked all of these angles.
Yeah.
He's looking good. So of course he has to sit there and bro. He's another one who's like, okay, I gotta be a bro to these people.
Yeah.
Like, he is putting on whatever it is that person needs.
Absolutely.
And he and Kyle obviously have this foursome over on the side, but they're agreeing to tell Chris whatever Chris needs to hear because he's currently the HOH.
Yes.
So he's on board to backdoor Michael.
Right.
Everyone's on board.
That's the plan. So then Chris, again, the drama in BB Canada, the production value of BB Canada. The whole house turns red, and then there's a spotlight on the HOH doors, and Chris walks out, and the spotlight follows him down to this hidden room with busts of all the contestants
the
in the circle.
nomination chamber.
Yeah.
Okay, he walks in, all of these busts, which are, I think, incredible. These busts look great.
I think they are hideous.
I mean, it's a little freaky to have like little heads staring at you, and it's like you walk in the middle of this like circle of people staring at you. But the busts look like well done, at least.
They definitely resemble the house guests, but like the worst version of the house guests.
But then I was confused because I was like, "Ooh, this is cool. This is way cooler than Keys." But then he didn't. That's it.
That's
he
it.
walks
Nobody
out
else
of the
sees
chamber and doesn't bring. I wanted him to bring the bus.
The bus, that would have been incredible. Like two heads on a pike, and then he has to like pull hoods off of the bus or something, and like those are the nominees.
Knock down heads until two heads are standing. I don't know, like what are we doing?
Missed opportunities.
It's just a room of busts.
Yeah. Well, he comes out to the living room, I guess, as it were. The whole house is like...
It's different. We're getting used to this house.
It's very, disinfected, this house. Like, marble walls and floors. Like, it doesn't feel like actual rooms. It's just like...
it feels like a soundstage.
The inside of, like a mausoleum with furniture, you know? So but he goes out to the couch, this semicircle couch that they have, and announces, indeed, his nominees are Brooke and Hira. And he kind of says, like...
boringly stand up and move to a couch.
Yeah, right.
Really lost me right there.
And his justification is just like, we haven't really talked game, and I don't feel a connection to either of you.
Yeah.
You know, he's obviously not announcing his backdoor plan. Yes.
As enough.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how we end Sunday's episode.
Yes. Do we get into spoilers?
Oh my God, we have
spoilers.
For a second, I was like, wait, what's song?
What's the song? I know.
So rusty, you guys.
We did pretty well there.
Yeah, we got it.
We're back.
We're in tune. Here we go. In sync.
Okay, so they've already played the veto, right?
They have. They do it differently in Canada.
Yes.
No HOH.
Right.
No, that wasn't a sentence.
Yeah.
The HOH doesn't play.
Right. So we had Hira and Brooke playing.
Yes.
And then 3 additional players.
Carol, Vanessa, Maddie.
Yes.
Played as well.
Right.
It seems like it was pretty exhausting, physically demanding. They were fairly beat up afterwards.
All of them apparently were beat up after it.
Carol might have chipped a tooth or something. There was,
my God.
she was in a bad place last night.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
Hira is
wins.
the winner.
So that's good news for someone on the block.
Yeah, and good news for Chris because he gets to move forward with his backdoor plan if he wants to.
And it doesn't look like a, terrible plan when the person takes themselves off of the block, right?
Yeah, he's got to just put up a replacement nom.
I think this is so interesting that the HOH doesn't play.
Yeah.
Because it's really interesting when an HOH wants to backdoor, wins the veto, and then they change their own noms. It's like, backdoored
then it's like,
you.
that was your plan, obviously.
Right. But this is just going to be like, oh, Hira takes himself off, and then what are you gonna do?
Right. I mean, it kind of is interesting because it prevents anyone from having like total control of the house in any given week. Like, as HOH, you can't then win the veto and call the shots. Like, someone else is going to win veto other than the HOH. So that kind of keeps things interesting. But clearly Hira is going to take himself off the block. But there's been a lot of drama with Carol because she's talking about self-evicting. Yeah,
that veto comp was really hard for her.
Yeah.
And she has sort of seemed to be withdrawn. Like, I loved her in that second episode when she was like, forming the group and giving information off and seeing things of like she doesn't know we're connected. So I was like, great, Carol is looking good. But I guess she has not, she's kind of just not fitting in with everybody.
And I kind of get it. Like, these people are young and...
I mean...
Some of them are really dumb. And Carol doesn't strike me as dumb. And it just, like, the age... You know, we've seen older players on Big Brother America a lot. And, like, they can form
She's not even that old, y'all.
She's 44. And these people are, like... 30, 25, 28, you know, like it's not a huge age difference. We saw Cliff and Nicole last season in Big Brother America.
Right.
Best friends. And a huge age difference there. But Carol's just not vibing with these people. She's missing her family.
Yeah, she's one of a few that has a family, you know, that's a different...
And she's saying like, I have this huge personality outside of the house and it's like, I'm not myself in here.
Yeah.
So... I think there was a lot of concern, probably, from production. Like, we cannot have two players self-evict.
No, she did start packing last night, so I think production jumped in and was like, hee hee, no.
No.
Oh my god, if we canceled week 1 and 2, no
not good. Yeah, so they, at this point, they have convinced her to stay and not self-evict, so the week is going to proceed as planned.
Still in the house.
Yeah.
I hope that this was just a, like, she's feeling down and she gets the hang of it.
Yeah.
I have to imagine the first week is just...
It's tough.
Crazy town. You're like, what is this world I live in now?
Right.
So hopefully she starts to feel better because I really do love Carol's vibe. Like, if she can think strategically and, like, actually maneuver, yay, that's awesome.
Right.
Please stay. So now the evictors have been fairly clueless up until yesterday, Saturday, when Vito, they started to notice people working together and having conversations, and they're questioning who's with who. And so I do think that Michael is slightly
onto it,
concerned. The story they were told from Chris was that it would be men as the back, like if the replacement.
Right.
Or the back door.
And that's the perfect thing to tell them because, like, Min is an easy target, you know,
Min
and they don't
and
like
Maddie have legitimately had fights.
Yeah.
They're not on good terms. So I think that they're gonna be aware that something is up and fishy by the time veto ceremony happens.
Right. But there's nothing they can do to stop it. Like,
I don't think so. I don't think they have the numbers. I think, you know, Brooke is still very upset that she didn't win veto, that she's still on the block.
But she's pretty well liked by a lot of the house. Like, I don't think people want to get her out over Michael. I think people do recognize Michael as a threat, and they don't necessarily like this, like, you know, quote unquote pretty people alliance, the evictors situation. Like, it's a very obvious alliance.
He's isolated himself.
Yeah.
Compared to Brooke. Brooke's got her, she may not be the most popular person in the house, but she's connected with a few more people than Michael is. So I do feel like she has the numbers, and that's not just all talk. But I also don't want her to cry over the next few days.
Yeah, you got to keep it together.
Brooke is someone else who I vibe with, obviously.
Yeah,
hello.
She's the nerd. Hello.
She's the nerd. I'm gonna love her. So I want to make sure, and I do feel like she sees things too, but she just doesn't necessarily have the power of persuasion. People don't really go, yeah, what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're just like, huh, okay, and then they do something else. So I hope she can kind of keep it together.
Yeah, she just needs to lay low.
Yeah.
And let Michael be the target.
Yeah.
Don't do anything to pull attention to yourself because you have the numbers right now.
Right.
Don't mess it up, essentially. Like, it's Brooke's week to lose, I think, because if she just stays chill, then Michael's gonna go home.
But that's gonna be kind of exciting if they do turn on Michael, because everyone's fake pretending to work with everyone right now, and then you draw a line in the sand when you finally evict somebody that you were pretending like you were working with, that's when things get really good.
When it gets good. So I am so excited to have like a first sort of official eviction in Big Brother Canada. We have not seen that go down yet. And I'm really excited for this season. I'm so happy we're covering it.
We're here. Please tell us if we missed something about Canada that we're not used to. I mean, I'm still adjusting to the fact they don't have a backyard. They just have like one little outdoor area, hot tub.
Because it's the winter there,
it's the winter in Canada. David, we don't know about winter.
We don't.
What do we know?
We barely know about rain.
Yes, we don't know about weather at all. Please let us know what you think about this cast, about this theme, how you're liking this first week.
Yeah, do you think the Michael backdoor is a good move? Is Chris making the right decision? Let us know what you think, and we will see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.